Shorty stuff.
This is your favorite piece?
I wouldn't say favorite, but it's one of my favorites.
One of your favorites?
It's from Shorty Peeler, Lake Shorty Peeler.
Okay.
He there's a site called Beaver Dam Church that's in southwest Cleveland County, and out in a field they would find these tourmaline crystals, Stroll tourmaline crystals, and occasionally they would have garnets attached on them. And I used to have two I bought from him. One was a feldspar crystal with a garnet and a tourmaline on it, but not on each other. Then I bought that one. Now, that one, they were bad. They had a lot of habit. The habit was bad for having the garnets pop off. But a lot of times you could put them on there and they would fit right back in the same groove they came out of. And that one there actually did that. And I had to set it back down in the in the little vug it came out of.
Okay.
But it is on part of that crystal.
So it's repaired.
Yes, repaired. Okay. But 90% of them from their work.
Yeah. But that is awesome, though. That is like a little blueberry off the side of it.
Not all of them, of course, were, but most of them were repaired pieces.
I love the real pretty limonite, too.
The Bowers Farm?
He's got a...
Oh, no, it's not.
Aquadale.
Oh, Aquadale.
Yeah, it's actually the Bowers Farm. It's in that area. That's
okay.
General area reference.
Wow, look at all that rutil. Man, that's a big chunk. And that's, what is that, pyrite mixed in there with it?
I know it's a goldish colored mica, like a vermiculite
really?
or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they mine vermiculite there too in that general vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at it real close up, you can tell it is a gold colored mica. That's got a story behind it.
All right, let's hear it.
That is supposedly from Union County. I went to the Sweet Union Flea Market one day, and I was looking for antiques. And there was a guy at the very back side of the hill back there, and he had a truck, and he had his bumper down, his tailgate down. And he had that one and another one laying on there, and I thought, I'm going to check this out. And I thought Brazilian. I said, this guy had no other rocks and didn't look like anybody would care anything about rocks. And I said, where is that from? He said, that one was my father's. And we went collecting at a site in Union County. And he said, I had a few, and I didn't care nothing about it, but he let me keep them, and I just want to get rid of it. And I asked him how much he wanted for it, and I said, how much you want for the small one? And he said, he told me what he wanted. Finally, I worked a deal with him, got it, and I believed the fella because he didn't have anything invested interest in telling me a lie about it.
Right.
He had no knowledge of rocks. He would probably put him on if Brazil produced that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I said, I took a gamble on it and bought it. And he swore up and down that it was Union County, and his father had collected it at a site in western Union County.
And that's South Carolina, right? Or is
No,
that,
North
Carolina.
Carolina.
Yeah, it's the only one I got because the other one I sold to someone who really wanted that other piece, and I kept that one. And it's
I believe it.
It's not great quality, but
That's huge.
I really believe the piece is authentic.
I wouldn't doubt it.
If you've seen the gentleman that sold it to me,
I wouldn't
you'd
doubt
believe
it.
it.
Yeah.
You'd believe it.
And I'll bet you there's some facet grade material in there too.
States real quick because this barrel is awesome.
Yeah, if you don't mind putting all the, the material outside of North Carolina on there, that'd be fine with me. I've only got really 2 cases, foreign material, but it's just there's so many pretty things that come outside of North Carolina, and some things you can't get from anywhere else, but other countries and things. I just try to.
That's a really nice barrel.
Widen the spectrum a little bit on what I collect.
Yeah.
Me too. I like it too. I've spent a lot of time just photographing mica with the backlit mica just to get the different patterns and stuff.
Yeah, same here. Me too. I don't know. I've always liked the mica. That's
Hammy Mine Fluorite.
Yeah. I used to have another plate of that had individual octahedron crystals, and they were purple, green, pink, and clear crystals on the same piece.
Wow.
And I wish I still had that piece, but that's one piece I got at least.
Yeah. That's cool.
They were both habits there, cubic and octahedrons.
Okay.
Muscovite mica. This is from a farm not far. I did remember the guy. It was a farm right down the street from Yates Brook.
Mm-hmm.
There's two Goshenite barrels in this piece. And this way, there's the tip of it right there. You can see it.
Okay.
Yeah. That come from near Yates Brook property,
Wow.
right down the road from it on another tract of property. But they were Goshenites. They were colorless to very pale yellow, almost real pale halidor.
Wow. That's cool. And that one right there. Yeah.
Yeah, you see it laying in there?
Shingle Trap Mountain.
Yep, shingle trap. Unfortunately, no amethyst on this one.
That's a nice piece.
Yeah.
Adularia feldspar. I'm gonna have to look that up.
This was found at the when they made the parking decks for the Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh.
Okay.
And there was one pocket of it. The motor grader operator found these, and there was 3 or 4 big ones, and they had one about like this. The person I got this from was able to trade with him on two larger ones and a bunch of small ones, and this was one of the larger ones, and I was able to get it at a later time. But
Wow, that is quality.
yeah, and you can see it's got a little damage there, and right there, but the vein was ran over by a motor grader. It was pushed up, so
really?
yeah. So I mean, it's amazing it's even in this good a quality. But the smaller ones were much better quality, and I had 2 or 3 of the small ones at one time, but I've since traded them out. But yeah, that's Wake County.
I guess the habit's right for the area.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely Wake County. The person I got it from's legitimate, and they traded with one of the construction workers who was involved with the parking deck work, and he wasn't a rockhound, but he wasn't about to leave these laying on the ground.
Yeah.
He ran over them. He decided to pick them up and keep them, and I think he ended up taking some to a gem and jewelry show, probably in Raleigh, and the person I talked to was there and saw them, and he didn't have a clue what they were worth or nothing. He just had a box of them, and they got them off of him, and he told the story about how he pulled them out of the underneath. I guess you park over these now, what's left of this vein.
Very nice.
And that's from where again?
That's from the Phillips farm, Randolph County. And like most everything that come out of the fields, a plow has hit it, or it's laid out in the field sometimes. So you can see there's some damage there, but they're
It's all actinolite needles.
that's actinolite, just very fine actinolytic needles running all through it. But this was a piece. This cut piece didn't come from there. This come from the Canoe farm, northeast from there, up near Ramseur. This was a cut piece
With the needles in
with
it?
the green needles. That was another farm
nice.
that had it, and there's a home built on this now. That's gotten stuck on there, but you can see the green needles in the quartz. That piece I used to have. The guy wouldn't even care if I was down. If he saw my truck there, he wouldn't care. He wouldn't even ask. But it's no longer accessible either.
Mm-hmm.
And most of what was on his property was not crystals. Some of it was, but it was a lot of massive material.
Oh, nice.
But it would cut some beautiful stones, and they had a lot of pink and gold and pale straw gold and rutile and pale
Very nice.
actinolite.
Oh, yeah, that's the
Arches
same.
amethyst.
All right. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
realize his last name was Craven.
He had the chloritic quartz with secondary amethyst. Now, a lot of it wasn't top notch when it's compared to the real or Diamond Hill, but it was Montgomery County and it was unique. Had a lot of sceptering, and there's a piece cut from Montgomery County. Archie cut that piece because he facets. That was a fall off. That's one of the better Montgomery County pieces. Not necessarily big, but that's one of the better color ones that he had. And this actually got a decent color. And see how they had these stepped habits. That was just typical of his find.
Do you think it would still produce? Or
If you could get him to produce the location.
Yeah.
But I did get real close to finding out one time. I do know for a fact it's in the Lovejoy area, and because he has a sister-in-law that lives up there, and he always told me it was in Lovejoy in that area. And one day she told me about where he's finding it, and said that he went up there all the time, and she had seen his truck up there many times. And one day he come back from up there, and he dropped by her place and gave her a big amethyst that he had found, and it still had the mud on it. So the story, I think, is true. I mean, I think he is finding it in that Lovejoy area, because it's his sister-in-law, and she swore about the story, that's where it's at. And
that's a big time.
My little dog cannot stand that thing.
Oh, really?
He pulled a string of it and said, "Hello, I'm Harry," and then she takes off running like hell on that thing.